Hi everybody, my name is Gene Murphy and I work as a go-to-market manager at FCR Media. I also work on our incubator program there, where you met some of the gang yesterday during the startup competition. So today I'm going to be talking about leveraging social and interactive media. Our tech team recently has been working on a product called Social Pro. And this is, I suppose, a real game changer for us. And today we'll be discussing about 2 or 3 different products and how they can help our clients and consumers scale on social and interactive media. Neil's talked a lot over the past few days, and I think a lot of people have, about the changing pace of how people communicate online. As far as I'm concerned, it's changed. That train has left the station, and right now, on all those carriages, if each seat is a different social media channel, this is a snapshot yesterday of just the volume that's being produced online. So as you can see, there's a huge ton of content out there. It's fractured over lots of different devices at lots of different times of days. And myself, as what I consider a professional marketeer, I can use tools like these. Now this is what we call the marketing stack. Now this is pretty scary for me, because I think if I started on the top left, by the time I maybe got to retirement, I could be a third of the way through all those different tools. So,
well, when you think about maps like that, and how's anybody making money?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of free trials.
Crazy.
The free trial economy, it could be that.
Free trial economy.
So look, I've even got too much choice, and I'm sure our partners that were up here, or sorry, like our speakers earlier on, can attest to this as well. So how do merchants keep up? You have to remember, at the end of the day, merchants run great businesses. And merchants like these, you probably meet every day on the way to work, fueling you to do great things. So we've come up with Social Pro. It helps ensure that they never miss a conversation online. With Social Pro, we have 2 flavors of this. Social Pro Go, which costs €50 a month or €600 a year, is available right now at socialpro.ie, and we'll be rolling this out across Europe over the coming months in our different FCR groups. And Social Pro Hub. Now, the thing about Social Pro Hub is when you have a goldenpages.ie listing, you actually get access to all that software as part of your Business Centre access. So you can save €600 a year, never miss a conversation, by simply logging on and getting involved with Golden Pages. And that's something we're rolling out further. Now the thing about Social Pro is it's fast for a merchant to set up. It sits in the background and ensures that, in this case, they can add in all the different review channels that they find their business on, such as Sayso, Yelp.ie, Google Places, and so on and so forth. There's even sentiment analysis in there, so they can jump straight into the areas that are most problematic with someone with a bad review and win them back as a customer. It's all your social media in one place. I love to tweet, and it's the platform of choice for me. Now, having access to all my accounts in one area is great. I don't have any more password problems or spread across a number of different logins. So for merchants, they can tweet, post, like, retweet, any other acronym that's been developed by social media companies, they can do it through here. They can also schedule tweets and posts in advance as well. So it sits into their daily flow. This has been designed from the ground up as a merchant-first approach. While they're cooking great dinners, re-roofing buildings, making great cups of coffee, this sits in the background and scales with them. Now, for us, we onboard merchants with a platform called cPanel. And we've been doing some really fun work around that. cPanel also helps us get the right name for merchants with our platform Get Domains, which allows us to resell domain names or sell domain names. And then also we have a hosting platform that we just launched last week as well called Get Hosting, so you can keep the right name in the right place. And again, that's thanks to cPanel and how we push that process out through there. There's even more integrations, and as we mentioned earlier, one of the things I get to do in FCR is run a little program we have called Start Local. Start Local allows, we work with about 13 different startups in a range of different areas, and one of them you met yesterday, Open Wi-Fi. We've launched a platform called Say Hi Wi-Fi as well. So this is a whole range of ways that we can help our customers leverage social and interactive media. Say Hi Wi-Fi, I think that, the way I always explain this is, Wouldn't it be great if a local merchant had a concierge that was ready at the door to welcome you in, set you up on Wi-Fi, tell you all about the great things that are going on in their business, and keep in touch with you, help you retain that person into the business? Well, that's not possible because it's a huge, big expense. So with Say Hi Wi-Fi, we've replaced that person with this scalable software. When a customer walks in, they can log in with Facebook or email. It's very straightforward, very simple. We can help push coupons to them, tell them all about the great things happening in that business. And people can also opt in to email marketing, so we create a retention loop. So those customers now, while they're still working away in their businesses, they can retain people into their business. They have a dashboard with a whole range of merchant analytics where they can see what's happening with their customers, are they returning, when are the biggest peak times. As you've seen before, they get great customer insights if people log in with Facebook, so they can know even more about their customers. So as you can see here, one of the big things with these products that we're developing, and again, which I talk about this merchant-first approach, is we look at them and their core business, the limited amount of time they have, and see how we can scale that with software that we provide. So I think when it comes into the conclusion, we can help people listen online with Social Pro. We can help launch all these platforms through cPanel, and we can help retain and promote through Say Hi Wi-Fi. So we're here over the next few hours until the conference wraps up to help you show you how we can ensure that your customers never miss a conversation. We'd love to chat more about Social Pro. Thank you very much for your time.
So be formulating your questions. I think the Wi-Fi thing in a box is really interesting, and I'd like to have some more conversation about that after we have Samantha, who's going to talk about Twitter. And could you tell us what Meerkat is too, or whatever, however you say that? You know what that is? No. So that's like the hottest thing at South by Southwest. Meerkat. Maybe we can have a conversation about that too, so I can be informed what the hottest thing from South by Southwest is. Okay? Welcome, Sam.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. I noticed there's about 6 ladies in the room. Is that right? 6 women. Hi, ladies. Nice to see you. It's great to be here.
And you're the 3rd one on stage.
Woo, 3rd one on stage today. 4th, okay. Now, this is great. Lads, I love yous, but in fairness, we need to balance this out a little bit more next time. But look, I'm just going to tell you my story about how Twitter changed my life in 140 characters. I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I'm a mum of 2 girls. One was approaching that awkward milestone of her first period. Sorry, lads, right? But she was approaching that awkward milestone. So I felt sorry for her, so I went to the pharmacy and the supermarket and I said, I'll get her something nice and I'll get her some kind of starter set to start her off on her journey into womanhood. And there was nothing there. And I went, hang on now, this is not fair, like there has to be some kind of beginner's thing. So what I did was, my dad had just passed away. I loved my dad, he was great, he was a real inspiration to me, real hard-working man. Like, we grew up in a really bad area, Ballymun Flats I was born in, if anyone Irish here knows that place. And he worked really, really hard to get us to better houses and better areas. Like, so he passed away. We used to watch The Dragon's Den. I don't know if you know The Dragon's Den here. So we used to watch The Dragon's Den, which was like Shark Tank, I suppose, pitching to investors. And my dad used to say to me, I don't know if you know Only Fools and Horses, but he used to say, he was a bit of a Dell boy, and he used to say, Sam, all we need is one little invention and we'd be millionaires, And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll keep an eye out. So what happened was, anyway, he passed away 3 years ago, and I miss him terribly, but what it did for me was I was also trudging through a marriage that I wasn't really happy in, and he wasn't happy either, like I must add. And also my other daughter is hearing impaired, and so I'd been caring for her full time, but she was going to start school. So there was all these little ducks in a row saying, it's time for you now, Sam, to do something. So I suppose serendipity, or whatever you want to call it, everything was set for me to do something. So when I got to the shop and I couldn't see these starter packs, I said, well, why don't I do it? Sure, I'll invent one, So I decided to create Funky Goddess, which was a first period gift box for girls for their journey into womanhood, right? Now, I hadn't got a penny. I was, at this stage, I just split up with my ex-husband, and I had no money. I was on social welfare. And I said, oh God, how am I going to get money now to start this? So these are the issues that I came across. So that's why I went on Dragon's Den. So I went on Dragon's Den and I pitched my product to the whole nation. And what happened was it got me the media attention that I needed to get the product out there. So basically the business went well, but I still was making no money, which wasn't good enough. So I started using Twitter to market the business. So, sorry, how do I? Oh, the big green one, sorry. So I started using Twitter as a free marketing tool. Now, I know I've heard a lot of opinions about social media today, and for me, I saw that this was a great thing for me because I could tweet away and tell everyone in the whole world about my product because I knew I could reach a global audience. And what happened was Americans really took to me, and Scandinavians and people who were, it was a little bit of a taboo in fairness, it still is, that's why we all giggled, like, you know. So, I mean, it is a bit of a taboo. So I started to get a lot of attention, and because, as you can see, I'm not shy, I was able to talk about it on the telly, and I was able to talk about it on the radio. So that's really how it all started for me. But I started to get really good on Twitter. And it just came naturally to me because all I started doing was in the evenings when the kids had gone to bed, I was sitting in my pajamas and I had no social life because I had no babysitter. So I just started tweeting and I started talking to people, and then I started asking other people, you know, they'd say, I'd say, well, how are you? How are you doing today? And what is your business? And do you find that you have this problem also? And do you find that it's difficult to get funding and da-da-da? And just started talking to other small business owners. So then one night I was getting so frustrated because I was getting the sales. I was selling out every single pharmacy. I was in 100 pharmacies nationwide, and I was online sales, everything, exporting everything, and I wasn't getting any support from enterprise boards, nothing. Nobody wanted to give me money. Well, I wouldn't blame them in fairness now. I hadn't got a great record. But I found it I was like, well, that's not fair. If you want to get out of the poverty trap and you have a great idea and potential and intelligence, I might add, you know, how are you supposed to get out of that poverty trap just because you've no money? That's not fair. So what people bought was they bought me. Because they bought my personality, they bought me, bought into me, so they bought my product as well. Like, so I started noticing this, and I created a hashtag. Now, how many of you are on Twitter already? Okay. A few of you, yeah. Start using the hashtag CindaDub2015 to comment. A lot of people are using the hashtag that are here, so you can actually connect with them later. But really, what I did was I created a hashtag called Irish Biz Party. So I created a place for people to go to start chatting amongst themselves about what was going on for them in the business world, and as a small business owner, and as a mum as well, a working mum, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of men and women started taking part. So I did it one night, I said, you know what, guys? We're going to have to help each other out here. We're going to have to just start assisting one another and supporting each other to spread the word about each other's business. Excuse me, smoker. What I did was, it started on a Wednesday night, and then it just took off. And then the next thing I saw people going, oh, actually, my mother would love what you have, and I must buy one. And so then there were sales happening before my eyes. And then people were actually retweeting the other people. So when you retweet something, you're sharing their info with someone else, with your followers. So I was like, this is quite magical, you know? And then they all said, can we do this next week? And I was like, okay. So this was 3 years ago. So every Wednesday night on Twitter, from 9 to 11 p.m., you'll see lots of Irish SMEs, over 700 take part most weeks, 700 SMEs in one place at the same time. Now, that's a marketeer's dream for someone whose clients are SMEs. So I didn't cop any of this at the time, of course. I've just been learning as I went along. So basically, I'm just going to give you some tips, though, but this is how I've come to be sitting on this stage now, is because I have built up a big community around me through Twitter, and now I have companies coming to me to sponsor our conferences. We have a conference on April 15th, right? And it's just all SMEs in one room, and speakers and tips and all this kind of stuff. So basically what I'm doing,
when is that?
I will tell you, I didn't really want to go on about it, but yeah, okay, the Green Isle Hotel. It's on the 15th of April. If you look at my tweets, you'll see the links. But just to point out, if you are on Twitter, who has one of these, an egghead?
No, I don't.
You won't by the end of today, right? So, and I will sit down with you and I'll help you. if you need a little bit of help. The bio is the most important thing. What you want on Twitter, it's not Facebook, okay? So forget about Facebook. If you are on Twitter and your demographic is age 35 to 55, the highest growing demographic is the over 55s, okay? And the reason I think that is because a lot of people have emigrated and they want to see the grandkids on Skype and they want to communicate with the family over there. So a lot of the over 55s, and they also have the time and a bit of money to get trained and stuff. And if you have an egghead, I'm not going to follow you, okay? An egghead is where your picture should be. So if you are a small business owner, or if you are representing a company on the Twitter account, big smiley face, okay? Big smiley face is going to get people connect with people and people buy from people. So now if it's a big company like Coca-Cola, let's say, or something, I put your logo in there, okay? And then you can have a big picture of the team on the header picture or something like that. Make it more human because it's not LinkedIn either. You can be a bit more of a messer. You can be a bit more quirky on Twitter. So that's why I have the name Tweeting Goddess and not Rosslare Harbour Social Media. You know, and I'm getting more attention being Tweeting Goddess. And another thing as well, you know, how do people contact you? Make it easy for them to contact you. So put a link to your website, put your phone number up, say, get in touch, ask me anything you want, or whatever. Make it easy and make it approachable for people to come to you, okay? So the benefits to your business are brand visibility and awareness. You've potential customers at your fingertips. Like I run Twitter accounts for businesses who don't have time, so you can talk to me later, right? And what you do is, it was a hotel once in Wexford. I was running Whites of Wexford, and this girl said, oh my God, I'm so stressed, I so need a break. And so I went, well, you know what? We have a special offer on at the moment. Why don't you come down? Da, 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 da. Sale, right? So this is how you can get your customers online, on Twitter, straight away. It's so fast. And don't forget, if they're going to click follow, that means they're interested in your product, they're interested in you as a person, and they might know someone who might need your product as well. So it might not necessarily be them. Like I've had guys following me. Now, I wouldn't blame them in fairness now. But I have got a lot of guys following me that would have nothing to do with Twitter or nothing to do with business. But they just follow me because they like the tweets, you know, because sometimes I'm a bit funny and I get up to a little bit of mischief after 9. But, you know, it's also access to a global market. So, I mean, I have followers from America, Canada, hopefully India in the future. You know, I've lots of followers from all over the world. And I've connected with Kimberly because of Twitter. And that's why I'm standing here today. So, I mean, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? I've connected with so many people. I remember going to a conference once, and they asked me to come, and I was just in the audience, and Bill Clinton was speaking at it. And I was going, if my dad could see this, and I'm sure you can, Dad.
He can.
But if he can, thank you.
Yeah,
oh, don't make me cry. Oh. But anyway, do you know what I mean? So he would just be in his element up there. He'd be like, look at her, Bill Clinton. But you also have a head start over your competitors if you use hashtags. So for example, today, the Cinda to Dub 2015 hashtag, I have been watching for the past 3 days. And I have been following some of you who have been using the hashtag. Bridget, I interacted with and engaged with, didn't I, Bridget, when I saw that she was using the hashtag. So already, Bridget has a head start over people who aren't using that hashtag today. So people are watching, and there'll be people watching the hashtag today to see what myself and Glenn are up to, because we met on Twitter as well, didn't we? We only met today, so there you go. So it does work. You've got all different hashtags you can take part in. If your target market is SMEs, you need to be here. Irish Biz Party, Wednesday 9 to 11. Louth Chat is just a local county chat that started to take off, that copied my idea, but, you know, I just support, look, I support any hashtags because it does no harm to my profile either. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind, like, hashtag away. Belfast Hour is another one I created for solicitors in Belfast that want to raise their profile on Twitter. And they were solicitors. They were like, well, sure, what can we say that's interesting? Why are people going to follow us, you know? And I said, well, what we'll do is we'll make you into the cool, innovative solicitors in Belfast, and we'll create Belfast Hour, because their target market was SMEs, everyone really, but also charities. So they're all taking part on Belfast Hour. Over 400 SMEs take part in Belfast Hour every Thursday night. So Mummy Pages Chat is another one I started. Mummy Pages is a big company that wasn't getting interaction on Twitter. They weren't using it right. So they asked me, could I start interaction and engagement more? So I started Mummy Pages Chat every Tuesday after the school run. Because I know what it's like being a mum, and I know you're sitting there, new baby, no one to talk to. You want to talk to some adults. So come on to Mummy Pages Chat. And it's also on Tuesday nights, 9 to 10, for the working mums. See, I had everyone covered there. So the secret to Twitter, everyone always asks me, how did I do so well? I have 19,000 something followers now. So I'm heading to the 20,000 mark.
19,001.
Have I? I thought it was more.
No, I just added.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I'm heading towards the 20,000 mark. And also, I'm becoming known as a leader in my field just because I would blog about, what I talk about is SMEs, business, what it's like starting a business, supports that are out there. I tweet about chocolate, tea, all different things, funny things as well. But I really keep my message consistent and talk about Twitter and how it can help your business. I do blog posts, top tips on how to create the perfect bio, that kind of stuff. So also what I do is I interact a lot. So even if someone follows me, I also always try and follow them back if I think they're not a weirdo. But also I always thank them. I always thank them for following me. Assisting others is huge, okay? And I think a lot of us have forgotten this, especially when I start being successful. I don't want to forget where I was. And I think a lot of people, when they become successful, they forget how hard it is to get out there and how hard it is to get PR and how hard it is. And it could be just one introduction that I make for someone that could make a huge difference to their business. For example, last night I was doing a Twitter lesson with someone. The Irish Ferry Door Company, they are going to do so well on Twitter, right? Because they're targeting America, Irish ferry doors, and they're also targeting the emotional connection that we all have as children from liking ferries. Okay, maybe the lads didn't like them, but it's going to do so well on Twitter. But she said, gosh, I need a bit of PR, and I said, well, actually, I'll just, let's follow such and such. So we followed the person. We said, hi, Tweeting Goddess suggested that we follow you. The person replied and said, actually, this is lovely, we love it. And now I'm after introducing them by email as well. So now she's going to get her little slot in the paper. But these are simple little things that could make a difference. And then that's when the sales come, you see. Consistency is very important. Good content. There's no point, I'm not going to follow you unless you're showing me something interesting every day. For example, I don't know much about what you're doing. The social media management, I need that and I need to learn more about it because I have a team of tweeters now. So I have a team of people working for me. And so I need to know how to manage all that. So I need to learn more about that. So I want to get blog posts on that. If you're in fashion, if you're a wedding designer or something, I want to know top tips on how to find the perfect wedding shoes. The top tips, everything, like top tips on how to get your business the most, how to get sales, Top 5 tips on how to get sales. We all need to know that in SME land, So positivity is huge as well. If you can be, I'm not going to start talking about the water charges or, anything controversial and how these government guys are letting us down. I'm just not going to go there. I'm just going to keep it positive. So try and keep it positive and light and neutral if you can. I sit in the fence a lot, I'm just going to tell you a couple of stories before I finish. Bill Yao, I don't know if any of you know him. He was on Twitter one night.
No.
He's an entrepreneur and philanthropist. Google him, he's cool. And he's also a partner with SOS Ventures, so he's a fairly cool guy. And I saw him on Twitter and he got 90,000 followers or something. And I was like, ugh, gosh, But I started, we were watching Dragon's Den and started using the hashtag. And there was a guy on selling sugar-free goods. And he said, oh, my daughter's diabetic, so that's going to be great. And I said, actually, my daughter's diabetic type 1 as well, my 15-year-old. And he said, my daughter's 15. And I said, wow. So we started talking. Now, this guy's a millionaire, And he started talking, and then I had an Irish Biz Party barbecue in Kinsale, and I knew Bill Yao lived in Kinsale, so I said, sure, I'll chance it, So I said, Bill, I don't suppose you want to drop in for a burger? And he said, yes. I'd love to drop in for a burger. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? He's coming to the barbecue. So he came to the barbecue, sat with 10 SMEs for 2 hours, giving them some mentoring and tips and just talking, but giving them some tips, you know. And we ended up having dinner with his family, and he met my daughter. So Willow, his daughter, and my daughter met. So now they're friends. So that was from Twitter. And now then he became my mentor. So now he has made a lot of good connections for me and introduced me to a lot of good people. But also I've helped him, like he gets a lot of startups because he's an investor, he gets a lot of startups. And what I do is I sit down with them for free and I just show them how to use Twitter and stuff, you know. So it's just giving back a little bit as well, you know. This is Theo Pafitis from Dragon's Den in the UK. He has a competition every Sunday night on Twitter called SBS, #SBS, and you just tweet your business to him, and if he retweets it to his 500,000 followers, you also get to meet him. So I went to meet him. Look where his hand is, I don't know. But anyway, he's a lovely man, and it was just a huge thing for me, a huge achievement for a lone parent in social welfare to be standing beside him and getting a picture taken. If you win awards, if your company wins awards, if you win anything like that, tell everybody about it. Like, especially for SMEs now, like I find in Ireland, I don't know if it's an Irish thing or what, but they're like, oh, look at your one, like she's boasting again about the award she won. But like, to be honest, I just tell everyone, because the people who get you and understand you and what you do, they are going to love the fact that you're doing well. They will support you. They'll actually be happy for you to be doing so well. So just surround yourself with those guys, you know. Does anyone know who that is? Has been. Justin Bieber. You must be someone with daughters who like Justin Bieber here. Anyway, Justin Bieber, he's a pop star, right? And my daughter, she was 12 at the time. And I had about, I'd say, 6,000 followers at this stage. And I had no money to buy the ticket because it was a credit card thing, and then I had no credit card anyway. But they sold out in 20 seconds or something. I was like, oh my God. So the day before the concert, she was crying in her bedroom and listening to Justin Bieber love songs. And I was like, oh no. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God. I said, you know what, I'm just going to chance it. So I said, does anybody, by any chance, have a spare Justin Bieber ticket? Because I have a devastated teenager upstairs in her bedroom. It got retweeted all over the place, right? Why do you think that was? Because number one, the emotional connection again. Yeah. Most of us could, well, I could identify with not being able to go to Michael Jackson's concert. You know, so most of us could identify with not being able to go to a concert. And then you had the people who had children saying, oh, God, let's help her out. Because we all want our children to get what they want. You know, we all want them to have the things that we didn't have. So I suppose the emotional connection was there. And another little tip I'll give you is I had a competitor on Twitter with another kind of first period thingy that came along after me. And, but I stayed friends with her. I kept her, you know, civil and stuff. I didn't like bitch about her or anything like that. And so she said to me, I've put it on my Facebook page. And next thing, a teacher from Galway replied and said she had a ticket. And that's the photo that Leah took at the concert. And this is the last one. Now, I know this has nothing to do with business, but I will tell you, the woman that got me the ticket, it's called mysecrets.com. So every time I tell that story, she's getting a plug. And also the gentleman who did this little story, it was coming up to Christmas, and Christmas was 10 days away, and I couldn't get the Jessie doll, you know, from Toy Story. So I put up a tweet and I said, oh, can anyone tell me if they've seen the Jessie doll anywhere? It was like that Frozen doll this year, you know, couldn't get it anywhere. And a guy replied and he goes, actually, I'm in Smith's toy store and I'm looking at one right now on the shelf. And I was like, oh my God, really? And he goes, yeah. He said, I'm in Dublin though. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Wexford. And he said, well, look, I'll just get it. And I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to get it off him? And then I realized my ex-husband, always stay friends with your ex-husband as well, right? My ex-husband has a friend who drives the bus from Wexford to Dublin Airport. So I got Tony, I gave Tony the money. Tony met Noel Cuddy. It's @NoelCuddy on Twitter. He met Noel, gave me the doll, and then I got a tweet saying Jessie is on the bus. So there you go. So that's it. So thank you, and that's how you contact me.